Now, over the course of last couple of days, over the course of 69 hours in total, I've been working tirelessly on this Google document for SSR characters and the gears to equip on them. So finally, today I'm ready to share it with you guys. I present to you Gears These Nuts. Yes, a cheat sheet gear guide for all the characters available right now. Obviously, this only includes the global server for the time being, but I do intend to add more as time goes. If you guys want to check it out for yourself, links are in the description. Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here, welcome back to another counter side video. Alright, today's video is going to be about gears. A lot of you guys have been asking me regarding gears and what is the best gears to keep or to sell. Now I thought since I'm playing on global and I do have a free to play account, so it would be a good a perspective to show you guys like what is the good gears that ideally you want to keep or maybe sell later on. But the decision is going to be really depends on what better gears you have, right? So right now all of us should have about 300-ish to 350-ish slots depending. I do expand mine to about almost 400 now. You do get to watch ads once every day. But yeah, before we begin with today's video, just a quick reminder regarding the danger close. So something that a lot of people don't know, you will never get the danger close rewards if you don't go and claim manually. So danger close was last week, but some of you guys might not come here and claim your rewards. So if you haven't done it, please do so. Alright, so I've already claimed mine during the stream yesterday. This is something that I wish the developers would fix or they would try to improve. Is like, if you don't claim it, I believe it doesn't go to your mailbox. I think I've missed some on the counter-side C server. Let me show, come here, there. Like look, this is on my C server, you can see I got, if I never come here, I will never get these things. So make sure you guys remember to claim it, especially these. The points are very important for you to be able to buy things. So let's move on back to the global server. So make sure you guys remember to do that. Now, before you start off with the video, so let's just jump into the workshop. We're going to continue crafting some of the T6. Now, I've mentioned this before in a video, or I can't remember where did I mention, or during a stream. So usually any of the red gears, the SC coins, like a lot of people come and ask me, hey GuitarRock, I am done with the raids. I've reached the 40,000 milestone. Do I still hit raids? Do I still farm raids? Yes, raids is the best way for you to farm gears. Alright, ideally you get T7. You ideally want to get T6 or T7 if you can, right? So there's no other place in the map right now in global that gives you T7 consistently outside of raids. So right here you can see there's 4 options. You can either farm for the weapon, the armor, the accessory, or the universal mode. Notice the weapon, armor, and accessory is a little bit more expensive. You can see it's 90 coins, 90 super conductive tokens per mole, whereas the universal mode is 65. So the idea here is I always recommend to basically just craft this universal mole because it's cheaper. It's only 65 mole, whereas the others, if you might get some accessory that you might be able to fit into and you are getting a specific one. But in the long run, right, like think of it again in the long run, if you plan to play this game in the long run, this is going to save you so much more coins that you're going to be able to craft more gears in general. So the idea here is ideally in the long run this is going to be better because the amount of coins that you save is so much, and you can't choose a specific one like an armor or an weapon or accessory, but you get more rolls and more chances at the weapons, at the good weapons that you might get in the long run in the future. So let's go, we're gonna use you can also use the crafting coupon that you can buy from the daily. So let's see if we get any good ones. So notice I get 2 skill haste right here, but this is not too good. That one is actually not bad. This one is not that good because it's a mag, right? So this one you can see is anti-defender, alright, it's whatever. So do I get any good gears ideally here? No, there's no good gears right here. Anti-ranger, all the anti-sets generally, like I mentioned, I generally don't keep them. For now, maybe you can keep because you might not have good gears, but in the future, those are going to get replaced. Now, this one is pretty good because it has anti-ground damage. Now, granted, not many mechs can benefit from skill haste. This is a mech weapon, right? But the mech that can benefit from skill haste is perhaps Sigma, Awaken Horizon in the future, or E1. But again, this is not too bad to keep as an option. So remember all the SC gears, all the raid gears, regardless of it, in the future we're going to have one more raid called Inhibitor. So any of the raid equipments that you get, always do this. Always recycle them. Do not sacrifice them to other weapons. Please don't. You recycle them because you get back more tokens. Alright, so it's always worth it to do this. I've mentioned this in the video before. This one I would definitely throw away because it's anti-ranger and it's on mech weapon, so definitely no. Hit, one of the worst one ever. More hit, also not that good. Now mech crit is probably one of the worst sets. Ideally I would throw out all the crit sets. Crit and hit sets are probably the worst. If you guys want me to do a specific video on explaining why, let me know, because I'm not going to go into too much detail in this video. Anti-striker on soldier, definitely not needed. Anti-supporter is also not that good. So we're gonna sacrifice those for the time being. So we're gonna go use the urgent crafting coupon. That again you can buy every single day. Oh, I got lucky right there. This is not bad. HP is not too bad. Alright, very universal set. This one is good. This is a cooldown skill haste. It's a T5, but I'll take it. This one, again, a soldier skill haste, which is not too bad. Veronica can benefit from this later. We have this anti-striker, so evasion, not too bad. Anti-sniper, so more mech HP. Mech generally can benefit from HP. So this is how you want to farm skill haste sets. Ideally, you want to farm as much raids as you can, hit as many raids as you can. Every time you see them, keep hitting them, and come here and craft a bunch. Hopefully you get lucky with skill haste sets. Now, let me tell you something about a trick that some of you guys might not know. There are sometimes gears. Let me filter by T6 and T7. So we can do this, a counter, select stat, so you can just select skill haste. Okay, so now this will include all the counter gears with skill haste substat. For example, this one I have skill haste substat right here. So this one I have skill haste substat right here. This one same goes for evasion. This one I have happened to have skill haste. This is Zhu Xiyun's weapon, which is very, very good. Now, this one, generally, especially early on, you actually want to keep. You might not have enough skill haste set. You can basically use this to get a bunch of skill haste on your characters. For example, this one, it gives 8.4% skill haste, right? So let me show you guys an example in C server. Okay, so this is my Zhu Xiyun's gear. You can see it's super jumbled gears, right? It's like a mixture of everything. He has his own exclusive equipment, exclusive gear right here, which gives skill haste 10%. Alright, so fair enough. And then I have this random T6, which is like a defense. But this gives me skill haste of 7.5%. And I have a random T5 Dante movement. This gives me a skill haste of 7.1% right here. And I have this Welsh Crown with skill haste of 8.5%. So this one is from an exclusive event that we'll get later on Global. I think Global don't have this yet, but this is a very unique one. It has barrier enhancement. It's very good for some characters that creates barrier for themselves, like Estarossa or Awaken Hilde. But let's not go too much detail into this gear itself. But what I want to show you guys is you can get decent amount of skill haste from just gears that are not in a set that has skill haste substats. So let's have a look. How much does this give my Zhu Xiyun? So notice how much skill haste is this? 33.1%. Now, if you have skill haste gears without skill haste substat, that will only give you 30% skill haste. So my Zhu Xiyun with no skill haste gets more skill haste than a person with skill haste that don't have skill haste substat. Does it make sense? I know it's a bit confusing. So if you have any gears with skill haste, ideally, I would highly recommend keeping them for now, until you have enough skill haste sets. So right now, early on in Global, I think a lot of you guys are still struggling to get a bunch of skill haste sets. So you can use this method to elevate and get some skill haste for your characters, especially in PvP. Skill haste is just so important. The faster you can cast your skills, boom, the better it is, right? So keep that in mind. You can use this trick for every single character out there. So one more thing that you want to keep in mind is also anti-ground damage. So that's something that you want to keep in mind. Anti-ground damage is something that's really, really useful. If you can, ideally pay attention to this. So you can also select anti-ground damage substat. So these are the gears that has the anti-ground damage built onto them. for example, this gear. So now why am I using this? This one is hit, right? Hit is generally one of the worst type of offensive gears out there, alongside with crit. But this one has anti-ground damage substat, so it's going to be able to boost your damage by a lot. So if you have anti-ground damage substat, I would highly recommend you guys to keep it, you know. So those with anti-ground damage, if you can, even if it's T3, you know, it gives a lot. Especially if you stack them together, it's gonna give your character a much more damage than having like full attack set sometimes. Alright, it depends on the enemies that you're fighting against. So these two, pay very close attention. Skill haste substat, anti-ground damage substat, and also perhaps anti-ground damage rest substats if you care about that. Alright, the video is getting a little bit long. I don't want to make this any longer, so just to maybe shrink it down a little bit to give you guys like a sort of a tier list, but not really a tier list, but rather a list, right? These are the ones that I usually recommend you guys to sell. Alright, anti-tower, usually you sell them. Anti-siege, anti-supporter, hit, crit, you always generally you sell these ones. The reason why is because, you know, they are not that useful, and ideally these very few characters do benefit from them. There are a few exceptions of which one you should keep. For example, like I mentioned, if they have skill haste substats, you can consider keeping them. If they have anti-ground damage, you can consider keeping them, etc. So there's one that fine lines lie in between, which is anti. Now this one is like in between. I'm going to say depends on whether you need some or not. I would say most of the time this is not as useful as well, but there are some situations where this is going to be very good in PvP, right? So in PvP, this is, for example, Ingrid. I do use anti-ranger at least 2 pieces on her to get rid of the characters fast. But if you are a PvE player, this is going to be like equally as unimportant as well. So the one that are important are going to be these ones, anti-defender, anti-striker, anti-sniper. This one has much more flexibility in terms of the usage. Ideally, there's much more characters that can benefit from this. So this one you can consider keeping a couple of sets. You might not want to keep everything though, but just keep in mind that especially this one are just extremely niche. Ideally for me, I usually follow this golden rule. Whenever I see this, ideally I would sell them and, you know, recycle the gears that have these sets, unless it has one of the substats that I want. So yeah, hopefully you guys learn a thing or two regarding gears in this video. Also, one thing before we end off, preset, make sure you guys take advantage of this. Always make the preset. For example, I have a skill haste here, so I can make one right here so that I can swap to a different character if need to. For example, my Gayun, so I can just come here and take this one, boom. So just like that, I'm swapping, taking over another character's gear all over to my Gayun. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video, guys. I know gears can be a bit complicated topic, and I don't think I can make like one video talking about every gear. That's going to be like 12 hours long, legit. I'm not even joking. The amount of things that you can talk about in gears is just, it's very complicated. So hopefully I'll make a follow-up video next time for a couple of things that I want to cover about gears specifically. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video for now. Hope you enjoy it. Hopefully you guys get something out from this video. As always, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, give this video a like if you enjoy it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.